Back in 2011, Bengaluru made history by becoming the first city in South India to get a metro rail, with trains running between MG Road and Bayyapannahalli. Since then, Namma Metro has steadily grown, now becoming the preferred mode of transport for over 8 lakh passengers every single day. However, even today, the network is limited to just two main corridors, with the green line running north to south and the purple line running east to west. That's all set to change with one of the most ambitious additions to the network yet. The new Yellow Line is set to reshape Bengaluru's metro system, featuring highlights such as the city's first double-decker flyover, the tallest metro station in South India, and a rare sight of two elevated tracks crossing above each other. Here's everything you need to know about the long-awaited Yellow Line. The Yellow Line will run between Rashtreeya Vidyalaya Road in the south and Bommasandra in the southeast, connecting key areas along Marenahalli Road and Hosur Road, including Jayadeva Hospital, BTM Layout, Central Silk Board and Electronic City. It will be 18.82 kilometers long with 16 major stations. The line will be crucial as it will connect the residential areas of BTM Layout in Bommasandra with the industrial hubs at Electronic City and Bommasandra. Additionally, it will also link major traffic hotspots like the infamous Central Silk Board Junction and the Jayadeva Hospital Junction. The Yellow Line promises to ease congestion and significantly cut travel time between RV Road and Bommasandra. It is expected to remove over 2.4 lakh vehicles from Bengaluru's roads every single month. This shift will mainly be driven by two-wheeler and car users switching to the metro. There will be three major interchanges with other metro lines along the Yellow Line. At RV Road with the operational Green Line, at Jayadeva Hospital with the upcoming Pink Line, and at Central Silk Board with the under construction Blue Line. Of these interchanges, the Jayadeva interchange will be the most unique, featuring 5 levels. The construction of this ambitious line was not at all straightforward. Turning this vision into a reality took more than a decade. Let us rewind to where it all began. Back in the 2000s, when many IT organizations in Electronic City requested metro connectivity, the Karnataka government decided to prioritize the RV Road to Electronic City section as a branch of the Green Line. Later, plans were revised to extend the line till Bommasandra and develop it as a standalone corridor. The detailed project report for the Yellow Line was submitted to BMRCL in mid-2011. The final approval from the Government of India was received in early 2014, and the Yellow Line's foundation was laid by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2016. To streamline execution, the Yellow Line was divided into 3 construction packages. The first package was between Bommasandra and Hosa Road. The second one was between Hosa Road and Bommasandra, and the last one was between Bommasandra and RV Road. Civil construction for packages 1 and 2 was awarded to ITD Cementation, while package 3 went to a joint venture between Hindustan Construction Company Limited and URC Constructions Private Limited. These contracts were awarded in March, April and May 2017 respectively. In November 2017, ITD Cementation began casting the first segments for the Yellow Line, and by September 2022, HCC URC joint venture launched the line's final segment. By September 2023, all track works were also completed by Texmaco Rail and Engineering. With this, the Yellow Line was structurally ready, but several complications arose during this construction process. The first issue was at the Jayadeva Hospital Junction. Over here, an elevated interchange station had to be built where both the yellow and pink lines would meet. An underpass and a flyover were already present at the junction. This complicated the construction of the metro station here. Thus, the Jayadeva flyover, which opened in 2005, had to be carefully demolished over a period of 6 months from January to June 2020. This demolition cleared the way for smoother construction of the interchange station. Since the flyover had to be demolished, BMRCL decided to construct a brand new 3.2 km double-decker flyover between Ragigudda and Central Silk Board. In this structure, the first level consisted of the 4-lane elevated road and the second level had the Yellow Line metro. The elevated flyover was partially opened in July 2024 from Ragigudda to Central Silbod, from where vehicles can either exit towards Outer Ring Road or Electronic City. On the opposite direction, the ramp construction work is 90% complete and will open either in August or September this year. Hence, the demolition of the Jayadeva flyover paved the way for a longer and more modern replacement. However, this wasn't the only hurdle in metro construction. At the Arve Road metro station, which is an endpoint of the Yellow Line, there was a plan to construct the Yellow Line viaduct to the east of the Green Line station over the Lakshman Rao Park. However, local residents opposed this plan as it would involve cutting 150 well-grown trees and would disrupt their water supply as the Kaveri water pipelines are located beneath the park. This led to a new plan being adopted in which the Yellow Line viaduct would cross over the existing Green Line viaduct and the Yellow Line station would be relocated west of the existing station. Lastly, there was also a land hurdle at the Central Silbod junction. As mentioned previously, Silbod will be an interchange station of the Yellow and Blue lines. There were initially plans to build a single elevated station containing the platforms of both the Yellow and Blue lines. However, due to limited land availability at the heavily congested Silbod junction, this plan was not feasible. Hence, the Blue Line station of Silbod was shifted towards the northeastern side of the junction. Now it is planned to link both these stations with travelators. Therefore, we see that in Yellow Line's construction, there were many hurdles that led to several design changes in the stations. But even after all the viaducts were completed and all tracks laid, one major hurdle remained. One that would delay the line by nearly 2 years from its expected 2023 opening: the shortage of trains. In December 2019, BMRCL awarded a major contract to China's CRRC Nanjing Fujian Corporation Limited. They had to supply 15 6-coach metro trains to BMRCL for the Yellow Line, but 14 of them had to be manufactured in India as per the Make in India contract conditions. CRRC planned to set up its own factory in Sri City, Andhra Pradesh, but things came to a halt after the Galwan Valley conflict in 2020. Following the Indo-China border disputes, CRRC found it difficult to partner with the local manufacturer. When BMRCL threatened to terminate the contract, CRRC eventually partnered with Titagarh Rail Systems Limited to supply the Yellow Line trains in 2022. The first prototype train for the line arrived in February 2024, followed by 2 more from Titagarh's Kolkata facility in January and May 2025. Let's take a closer look at what makes these trains so special. They are capable of driverless operations with the new communications-based train control system. They are equipped with modern technologies like regenerative braking, AI-based track monitoring, obstacle detection, fire detection, and real-time location information. Talking about their design, the trains have borrowed elements from 2 major icons of Karnataka, including the Lal Bagh glass house and the 2-headed bird in Karnataka's state emblem called the Gande Berunda. When you step into one of these Yellow Line trains, look closely. You might just spot a bit of Karnataka's identity reflected in their very design. With 3 train sets available by May, which were just enough to start operations, BMRCL planned to open the line in May. However, due to an issue with the signaling system of the line, a mandatory certification called the Independent Safety Assessment Certification or the ISA certification could not be obtained. When it was received in July 2025, BMRCL approached AM Chaudhary, the Commissioner of Metro Railway Safety, for final inspection. The CMRS inspected the Yellow Line from 22nd to 24th July and inspected the Operations Control Center or OCC at Bayyapannahalli on 25th July. His approval was received on 31st July, which was the final approval required before starting commercial operations. And with that final green signal, a decade-long wait comes to an end. The Yellow Line is finally ready to welcome its first passengers. On 10th August, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the much-awaited Yellow Line. The operations on this line will be managed with 3 trains, which will run at a frequency of 25 minutes. Despite the low frequency, all 16 stations on the line will be open from the first day of operations. The line will pass through major stations including RV Road, Jayadeva Hospital, Sill Board and Electronic City. Here is the full list of all 16 stations for those wondering about the stop closest to them. Trains will run from 5 am to 11 pm in line with the timings of the existing Namma Metro network. BMRCL expects over 25,000 passengers to use the Yellow Line daily, which will allow BMRCL to earn an additional 10 lakh to 15 lakh rupees per day. But this is only the beginning. Over the next few months, all 15 6-coach trains are expected to arrive, eventually reducing the frequency from 25 minutes to just a few minutes. With full-fledged operations, the daily ridership will increase to over 2 lakh people, helping BMRCL generate an additional 60 lakh rupees per day. As and when new trains arrive, BMRCL will keep introducing them into service, reducing wait times. With the opening of the Yellow Line, Namma Metro's operational network will grow to 96 kilometers with 83 stations, making the metro accessible to many more citizens. The Yellow Line is done, but the city it serves is still growing, and so must the metro. Namma Metro's network is undergoing a massive expansion from 95 kilometers to 175 kilometers in just the next 2 years. The Pink Line is in its advanced stages of construction with third rail testing underway. If all goes as planned, the line will open by September 2026. The Blue Line's construction is also progressing steadily. This 58-kilometer corridor from Central Sill Board to Kempegowda International Airport is expected to open by early 2027. But that's not all. Beyond these 2 corridors, Namma Metro's Phase 3 has also been finalized. On 10th August, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates the Yellow Line, he will also lay the foundation stone for the 2 new corridors of Phase 3. These lines will connect the western parts of the city and take Namma Metro's network to 220 kilometers by 2030. Several other corridors, like the Sarjapur Hebbal corridor or Namma Metro Phase 3A, are in the pipeline. Once ready, these metro lines will truly redefine transit in Bengaluru. The opening of the Yellow Line marks a major milestone in Namma Metro's journey. It is a line that took over a decade to get ready but will now benefit lakhs of people daily. If you found this video useful and informative, please like and share this video, subscribe to my channel and share your valuable thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you very much.